Hello, this is Michael Savage. We're going live. I'm going to put it on the other screen. We're going to reverse it. Today we're going to talk about the uncivil rights movement. The uncivil rights movement from Martin Luther King Jr. to, what's her name? Maxine Waters. The uncivil rights movement. Did you see the mobs in Portland last night? Communist flags, sticks, stones, rocks. You see the ignoramuses in the media. I think you need to understand this is no longer a game. It's no longer a joke. And whether or not we all know it, they have declared war upon the middle class. This is the face of the new Democrat Party. As the esteemed Eric Holder said, when they go low, we kick them. When Hillary said we cannot have civility until we retake power. So this is not anything new in history. In history, we've seen this before when out-of-control left-wing mobs start beating up the middle class, attacking police, breaking up the social order in order to bring about a communist revolution. There always has been a reaction. And unfortunately, I'm trying to warn everyone listening, please tell your friends, the war on America that's being conducted now by the Democrat Party will result in a fascist movement in this country. I've never used the word before. It will do exactly what happened in Germany in the interwar period after World War I. Those who do not know the history are condemned to repeat it. Now I'm going to reverse this camera if someone could tell me how to do that. What do I do to reverse the screen so you could look at me and you could see where I am at? Right now I'm just talking and we're building an audience. We know the Democrats are really communists. I've called them the Democrat Socialist Party for years now. And I'm trying to bring oxygen to the soul of America. I don't know if this country is even ready for reality. Double tap. There, I double tapped. Nothing happened. I'll double tap again. Here we go. So there I am. Same outfit as I had on the Huckabee show. I'm not in the mood to do the Don Corleone with the sunglasses right now. I'm extremely sober in terms of what's going on in this country. And I'm one of the few voices that you have. There are many others, but not many others. There are others, not many. Uncivil rights movement being led by Hillary, Maxine Waters, and Dems, says Michael Savage. Now, is there anything violent in what I'm saying? Is there anything offensive in what I'm saying? Is there anyone in the country who wants more civil unrest? Is there anyone in this country who thinks that blocking traffic, chasing people down the streets, banging on their cars with sticks, chasing people out of restaurants, is that the country you want to live in? Because what goes around comes around. If you think it's going to be a one-way street forever, you are wrong. There are millions of people out there who are ready. They're exploding. They're ready, able, and willing. They're just looking for a leader. And when that leader appears, when the charismatic right-wing leader appears, and he's not yet appeared, trust me on that one, those who do not know their history are condemned to repeat their history. When that charismatic right-wing leader appears, we're going to have a horrible situation in America. I am appealing to Hillary Clinton, Maxine Waters, Dianne Feinstein, the DNC itself, to cool your crowds before it's too late. Because you will be swept up in this madness, whether you know it or not. You will soon be swept up in the very, very, very firestorm that you have thrown lighter fuel on. And as they say, you have sown the wind and you will reap the whirlwind. The whirlwind has not yet been seen. There are tens and tens of millions of middle-class Americans who are just, they've had it up to here. They don't want it anymore. They're not going to sit idly by much longer. Now, Maxine Waters, obviously, who was supposed to be a lawgiver and a lawmaker, is a lawbreaker. She is not a lawmaker, she is a lawbreaker. She's encouraged people to go out and attack people, chase them out of restaurants, chase them out of filling stations. Hillary Clinton, to repeat myself till you finally hear me, said we're not going to have civility until I'm reelected, till we take power. This is the Communist Party USA of maybe 10 years ago. All the rhetoric of the Democrat Party today is that of the CPUSA. Can't see your face, it's cut off in the middle. There I am. I'm not in the middle. Okay, now it's in the middle. We need to do two things. We need to demand that the Trump administration rewrite the sedition laws, and I mean immediately before it's too late. Rewrite the sedition laws, and then arrest politicians or leaders of any of these groups that are committing sedition. There is a word sedition. It's in the dictionary. It's occurred before. This is not free speech. Don't be bamboozled by the lying left. This is not free speech to beat people up, to wave the communist flag and beat people up, take over traffic. That's not free speech. That is sedition. And we have a nation of laws, and now we're being chased down the street by these vermin. So there's not much more than I can say. It says hearing you is more important than seeing you. You had a nice view up your nose. Always a wise guy. I'm trying to, make a speech here. I'm not trying to entertain you, but okay. Maybe that's all someone just saying, Trump tweeted about Tucker's book. Why not about mass hysteria? Why don't you ask him? Seems he's in love with Fox News, so there's nothing I can do about it. Tucker didn't even know he's running for the presidency in 2016. So far as I know, Tucker Carlson was still a liberal in 2016. If I can remember correctly, I think he was still on NPR or something to that effect with a bow tie. But look, different strokes for different folks. He found out what sells. So now he's a hard conservative, and the president loves him. I can't speak to the next man. I have my own problems to deal with. So how do you think we can stop the insanity that is going on right now? Did you notice that Mueller has been silent for a while now since the Kavanaugh hearings? I'll let you see the background of my antique clock since you need some entertainment there. And there's the background. Why do I collect old clocks? 1890, 1880, hard to keep running. Because they're a symbol of civilization. They're a symbol of things worth keeping and preserving. Through the generations, through insurrection, through wars, these things were preserved. Think about the wars that these clocks survived, and they're still running. Now, why does that give me some sense of calm? Why? Because our society itself is right now being attacked from within. How do we stop this mass hysteria? How do we stop the maniacs in the streets from getting worse? Because they will get worse. They'll get worse until they're stopped cold in their tracks. Now, the police won't do it. As you can see, the Portland police have all been infiltrated and destroyed. God knows who they hired there in Portland. Took them out of a ballet academy probably, or God knows what academy they hired them out of, the Portland police. Sat there on his motorcycle, sit there doing his nails, got out the nail polish. The mayor of Portland says, and la la, la la, la la, mayor of Portland. Member of Antifa himself, probably puts on a bandana at night. We don't know who he is. How did he become mayor? How did a once beautiful working class city become a cesspool of filth like this? How? How? Because half of San Francisco moved up there over the last 20 years, and they took the filth with them. Same thing in Vermont. Used to be a beautiful conservative town, state rather, and the police departments were neutered a long time ago in these liberal cities. So what's the solution? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, there is a solution. And the solution is the National Guard. When the police won't do their job, there's always the National Guard. Let's have a little chant. Police won't do their job, call out the National Guard. Let's all chant. Police won't do their job, call out the National Guard. So, today is Sunday, day of rest. Here I am, an immigrant son, so many years later, still trying to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Because, there's an old saying that the Arabs use, what's right is always right. What's right is always right. What's right is always right. And if you think civil disorder is going to lead to peace in this country, just look at Syria. It's never worked anywhere on the planet. It's not going to work here. And so I'm giving you this small message today because I couldn't wait until tomorrow. One screaming, shut up, hairy old man. Who are you? Who are you, mister? Why don't you identify yourself? Why do you people hide behind your Twitter feeds, you filthy cowards, you? Here, I'm a helpless old man. See me? See my face? Why don't you show me your face? Why don't you tell me where you live? You coward, you filth, you bum. What, are you teaching at a university? Don't get me mad. Don't get me mad because I'll find your IP address if I have to, if I really want to waste my time. You want to get me mad? I'll go find your IP address, you piece of garbage, you. National Guard. Now, what about the National Guard in California? Ha! That's a joke. What are they training for today? Ballet? Prier all the way. Chardonnay and Prier, that's the California National Guard. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do with these filthy, dirty, degenerate cowards? You want me to get started? Would you like me now to escalate it and ratchet it up? What are we going to do with this rabble, this street vermin, this garbage? You know, there's dog shit in the streets of San Francisco. This is human shit. What you're seeing now are human trash. That's human droppings that you're seeing there in Portland. These are not human beings. These are human droppings. They're all over the streets. And the mayor's encouraging people to do this. My friends, we need police. Without police, the thin blue line collapse. The collapse of the thin blue line, we're finished. They'll overrun all of civility. If you think they're not going to come to the suburbs, you're mistaken. So, as the old Boy Scout in me once read, be prepared. Never forget, be prepared. So before I would sign off here on the Savage Nation, I'd like to leave you with a couple of thoughts, and it's not to go out and buy Stop Mass Hysteria, because many of you have done so and given them to police. I understand police are not allowed to accept gifts, so that's a problem. I can't help you if you can't give it to them. So here I am in paradise right here, in a little cottage by the bay for today, just visiting a little cottage for today. Beautiful weather. Teddy's sick, so he's not with me. And he's getting old, and his breath is failing him. His breathing is difficult. It's the way of all flesh. Life is very limited. Think of the hourglass. Time is very short for America right now. Very, very short. Time is very short right now. And the job is very long. Are we up to it? Savage Nation, are we up to defending our home and our hearth and our families? Yes or no? Are you ready to defend your home, your hearth, and your families? Are you ready to say enough is enough to Maxine Waters? Are you ready to say enough is enough to the vermin on CNN and MSNBC who think it's a joke? Are you ready to say enough is enough before they burn this country down? I hope so. We're still waiting for that charismatic right-wing figure who is not a Nazi to appear. We have a charismatic middle-of-the-road president who's fantastic, but he's not conservative in the sense that you think. He's not really a conservative. I mean, he's a true believer in a certain way, but he's not really a right-winger as the liberals would have you believe. They would call John F. Kennedy a right-winger today. So we're waiting for that hard right leader, ex-military, special forces, charismatic, well-educated, well-spoken, someone who can quote Plato, someone who can quote Cicero, someone who can read Greek, someone who can speak in different languages and bring us civility and intellect at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. He has not, or she has not yet appeared. It'll be a he, not a she. They tried the she's in Europe. It didn't work. For some reason, that woman in France didn't sell. And now we have feeble-minded people trying to bring conservatism to the forefront in some European nations, but it's almost too late. It's almost too late. They invited in so many Muslims and so many undesirables from Africa that they're losing their country, and they know it. They know that they've overstayed their welcome. Can you believe that one of the leaders in Germany a few weeks ago said there are no Germans at all? There are no such thing as a German. This was a white German man. He said there's no such thing as a German. Look what the nation has become in such a short period of time. So what's going to save Germany? What's going to save France? What's going to save England? What's going to save the United States of America? You. You are going to save America. There's no leader who can lead you. And when the leaders won't lead, the people must lead the leaders. That's an old left-wing phrase from the 70s. When the leaders won't lead the people, The people must lead the leaders. Now, right now, the communist left are leading the leaders. They're leading Hillary Clinton. They're leading Maxine Waters. They're leading all of the weakling, Machiavellian, power-mad figures. Where are the people leading our leaders here? Tell me who's leading who here in this country. I don't want to get critical of Donald Trump, but we're in the middle of a civil war right now. This is an uncivil rights movement. I was literally stunned that he would have that rap loser in the White House right after the hurricane. I got to tell you the truth, it didn't look right to me. Here you got people laying in the streets after a hurricane with the force of a bomb hits the Panhandle, and we see a rap artist using the Oval Office to peddle sneakers and vile records. How can you criticize me for saying this? You know, conservatives stand for conservative values. Tell me, what are conservative values about promoting pimps, prostitutes, and drugs? That's not a conservative, those are not conservative values, are they? Well, I'm not supposed to say it? Well, somebody's got to say it. Somebody has to say it. So I'm giving you the ideas that are in my mind. Things have changed so rapidly in this country that you're being hoodwinked by your own ideas in some ways. So my friends, as I said last week, pull the 501c3 status of the ACLU. Let's start with the head of the snake, the ACLU. Did you hear what I just said? ACLU. Pull the 501c3 status. What would that do? You pull the 501c3 from the ACLU, what happens? Well, you figure it out. My friends, we are involved with a civil war. They're coming at us with hammers, with stones. Next, they're going to bring guns. They are going to escalate. The number one subversive organization in America that must be taken out is the ACLU. Their former chief litigator, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is on the Supreme Court, by the way. Think about that. Think about it. That old witch was the chief litigator for the ACLU, and she was ushered into the Supreme Court 94-3 or something like that, with no contention from the ballless Republicans, the clothing store dummies with suits. They didn't even ask her a question about could she be impartial. So for 40 years, that old witch has decimated America's values. She once called for an age of consent to be 12 years old. Look it up. Or 14. I don't know which one it was. You know, drugs, sex, and rock and roll, that kind of thing. So now we see what they'll do to anybody who gets in their way. They get a Dr. Fraud up there, a fake psychologist from Nowhereville, from a mail-order university, and they invent the story, and Dianne Feinstein hides it to the last minute. How come Feinstein's not been censured in the Senate? Because they're all afraid of her. Why? Because they all got something to hide. So we got a battle on our hands, don't we? And I'm real glad I've been able to reach you, and this is a way to reach people without media. This is the most direct media. I hope that you have taken some thought from this. There will be some value to you. What am I trying to leave you with? Well, I'll summarize. They are conducting an uncivil rights movement. We are their target. We are their target. Middle class, we are their target. Get it? They want to destroy the middle class. Communists understand there cannot be a middle class if there's to be a communist revolution. There must be them, the Politburo, and the peasant. So if you want to give up everything you've worked for all your life, then sit on the sidelines and do nothing. Don't buy books. Don't take a position. Don't ever express an opinion to anyone for fear that they won't like you. And then you'll lose everything. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening. And I hope you've had a good afternoon. And goodbye now. Thank you.